Ooh, what's going on, my fellow deplorables? It's your boy Kevin. Welcome back to the 1776 report. It continues to get worse and worse for Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Remember when this thing first started and the liberal mainstream media wanted to tell us that this was actually a smart move by Bud Light. This was a genius marketing move. It was going to bring more inclusivity to a company that was rooted in white privilege, frat boy culture. It was going to turn a company that was bigoted into a rainbow farting business. Well, it turns out it actually was not a smart move. It was actually one of the dumbest moves in business history, as Bud Light suffers a staggering 17% sales plunge amid the D-Man controversy. Bud Light has suffered a staggering sales hit following the beer brand's controversial marketing tie-up with D-Man, with the latest data showing an alarming 17% drop according to an industry research firm. The latest sales data from Nielsen IQ and Bump Williams Consulting shows that Bud Light's sales fell 17% in dollars, while volume dropped a whopping 21% in the week ended April 15th. That's sharply ahead of the 6% drop in sales dollars and 11% drop in volume that Bud Light had suffered during the week ended April 8th. That is absolutely catastrophic for Bud Light. So not only did we see a 17% drop in sales this week, but the week prior, we saw a 6% sales drop, which is telling me that it continues to get worse for Bud Light. The mainstream media wanted to tell us, oh, it'll be a little blip in the radar. There'll be a little bit of impact early on, and it'll just fade away as people forget about this situation. Well, that is not true. It is getting worse, and it is getting catastrophic for a company. Over 21% decrease in the amount of sales that Bud Light has seen. It could not be worse for Anheuser-Busch. People are not going back. In fact, as this continues to manifest, as this continues to grow, because it is growing, it's growing on social media, and every time one person learns about this situation, they go tell a buddy at work, they go tell a family member, and then that buddy or that family member switches beer brands as well. So I believe it'll only get worse, and I'm going to keep my eye on the data, and I expect by next week that the numbers are even worse than we are seeing today. Bud Light continues to try to clean up their act as they have fired another vice president of marketing. And I saw all the comments in the comment section of my last video breaking down this situation. People saying, oh, they did not fire the VP of marketing, Alyssa Heinerscheid. She's on a leave of absence. Okay, I guarantee you this lady will not be back. You can call it a leave of absence. You can call it being fired. It doesn't matter. She no longer works there and will never work for Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch again. How do we know this? Well, according to CBS News, an internal email, and in that email, it basically went like this. Given the circumstances, Alyssa has decided to take a leave of absence, which we support. But according to insiders at Bud Light, it was not a voluntary leave of absence. So the email made it sound voluntary, but the decision to go on a leave was not voluntary. This is not a voluntary leave of absence. This is not a 2-week paid vacation. This is somebody losing their job. This person, Alyssa Heinerscheid, and the other VP who was just fired a couple days ago, Daniel Blake, will not be back at Anheuser-Busch. They are cleaning out the marketing department. We're now hearing from a former Anheuser-Busch executive giving us some insight onto why Anheuser-Busch possibly made this idiotic decision, and it's absolutely terrifying. We're seeing this done with other large businesses, other huge corporations in our country. Let's take a listen.
Now, former executive at Anheuser-Busch and Strive Asset Management co-founder Anson Frericks. Anson, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So, how does this play out?
Good evening.
Does Bush give a mea culpa for their misguided relationship with the transgender individual, or do they stick to their guns and still lose to Miller and Coors?
Yeah, so what I hope they end up doing is not just doing some of the real small cosmetic changes they've made already, which is replacing some of their marketing team. I think what they need to be doing moving forward is being clear about who they will be accountable to. Is it going to be the shareholders of the organization, or is it going to be the stakeholders of the organization? And let me explain that. Historically, Anheuser-Busch has been accountable to its shareholders, the firefighters, doctors, police officers, that either their pension funds or 401ks are invested in Anheuser-Busch, and Anheuser-Busch is expected to make great products and services like an apolitical Bud Light that drives value for those shareholders. Recently, though, they have adopted a form of stakeholder capitalism, which is pushed by companies like BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard that ask companies to be accountable to all stakeholders. These include activists and political organizations. And unfortunately, when Anheuser-Busch is beholden to these stakeholders, they end up being everything to everyone and actually nothing to anyone.
And Anson, tell the audience, as you worked within Anheuser-Busch in a senior management job. So you know this firsthand, and all this talk about ESG, it gets Sean so excited because it upsets him that this is the focus of all of these major corporations. And a company like Anheuser-Busch, it sounds so simple, but they've turned the business into not selling beer.
So they were more concerned, not with their shareholders, but with these big, large, woke institutional hedge funds like BlackRock, ESG investing, CEI investing. It is where you have to be a woke business in order to get that woke institutional money. Typically, you have shareholders who are in charge. Big retirement funds, firefighter funds, police pension funds, who invest in companies like Anheuser-Busch, and when their employees retire, they retire with a big nest egg because they had a 401k, they had an IRA, and in that IRA was Bud Light stock, Anheuser-Busch stock. But now these companies are more concerned with getting money from these woke big institutions like BlackRock, and those institutions are who is driving this woke marketing, this demand marketing, like we saw with Bud Light. And it is driving companies woke. It is driving media woke. And it is pushing the political agenda in our country. That is what's behind everything. You follow the money. But there is some more good news coming out of all of this, and that is that ultra-right conservative beer brand is expected to hit 1 million in sales, with the owner, the founder, saying it is a movement. We covered this brand. It is a really small brand. They had that really meme-like commercial. Seth Walters is the founder. He tweeted, "Sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business. Nothing will stop at ultra-right beer. Thank you for all for supporting and patience as we build this company together." After only being in business 12 days, Ultra-Right is expected to surpass 1 million in sales by Sunday, gaining over 10,000 customers and selling 20,000 six-packs since the April launch. This is more than a beer company. It's a movement of people who are speaking up and saying, "No, we're done. This is our line in the sand," Ultra-Right CEO Seth Meyers told Fox Business in an exclusive interview Tuesday, stressing that the sales are more of a movement of people than the purchase of a product. The only downfall is the price of this product. The price of a six-pack of cold one starts at $19.99, but the CEO, Weathers, said the company is looking to lower costs as soon as this week. The conservative beer brewing with Big Kettle Brewing in Gwinnett County, Georgia, which is my home turf. I grew up in Gwinnett County, lived there for the first 25 years of my life. Also generated 70,000 in shirt sales since launch. People are hungry for non-woke products. People are hungry for non-woke agenda-pushing products, and this proves that. Big problems for Bud Light. They are facing huge headwinds, and they are in trouble. As this boycott rages on, it is going to just continue to gain steam, gain popularity, and more people are going to look for alternative beer to drink. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. I love you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Until next time, peace.